What's up, people? This is the People's Podcast presented by the Wrestling Republic. I am Young Meechy. I am your host, and your co-host is...
Yo, it's the Beast sleeping in the East on Sean White.
Yes, sir. And this is the first episode of the People's Podcast. Now, you know we do it for the people, but we also keep it real with the people. We're going to let you know the truths about the wrestling world, about the WWE, about anything and everything you want to hear. We're going to keep it real with you. But we're going to start off before we get into, SummerSlam is coming up. So, we're going to give you some predictions. We're going to do Defend This Wrestler, which is John's, man, that's a famous part of this show that y'all going to all love. And can't wait to hear y'all thoughts about who's on Defend This Wrestler this week. And before we get into all of those things, we also got to just start off with some rumors. We got to start off with a few rumors. I want to get your thoughts on this, John. Will CM Punk return to the WWE, or will CM Punk and Daniel Bryan both be going to AEW? What's your thoughts on that?
I don't know, because the way I feel about both of these wrestlers are kind of like, they got something left in the tank, but they have really nothing left to prove. Honestly, though, it's going to be coming down to which one of these guys feel like they want to really come back to wrestling and keep doing this until they're done. And that's just the lifestyle of these wrestlers. But I feel like CM Punk might end up going to the AEW. Just because of the fact, a lot more of the people that he knows was over there, and on top of that, he'd be probably more appreciated over there, and he can do things the way he wanted to. While Daniel Bryan, I've never really heard him really complain much about the WWE. And on top of that, I think he still loves doing all the things like charity work and all that good jazz. And I think my prediction is that if anybody's going anywhere, I think Daniel Bryan might be retired, or he might go back to the WWE, and hopefully he'll get a better position in what he's doing. And CM Punk does go to AEW, but the way I feel about CM Punk, he's like damaged goods, man. You don't want him.
Ooh.
Unless you really want this guy out there to speak on the mic and do what he wants to do in the ring, which is cool. But for me, personally, I really wouldn't care if CM Punk came back to wrestling and started doing his thing.
See, I'm a little bit different than John on CM Punk. See, because during the times of CM Punk's run with the WWE, I stopped watching wrestling like that. I stopped watching the WWE. I had to get kind of more back involved with it towards the end of his run with the WWE. But I ain't gonna lie, when I seen CM Punk's documentary, it made me become more of a fan of him. I seen how much he cares about the business, how much he cares about what the fans see. Like, he actually cares about it, and that's how I feel like I would be if I was in the WWE. I'll be like, forget what the powers that be is talking about, or they want to give me this script that's I know is lame. I'll be like, you know what? Let me just do my own thing. I know what the people like. This is the People's Podcast too, so I don't know. I'm more of a fan of CM Punk, but I will say this: I would like to see him in the WWE. I would like to see him come back. I don't like how it ended. I don't think it should end that way. Especially everybody wants to see it. At least a lot of CM Punk fans. Come on now, for years people are still chanting CM Punk. Like, you cutting a promo, you still hearing people just chanting CM Punk. That's how you know it's tough for you. If you cutting a promo and they chanting CM Punk, they do not want to hear you. They do not want to hear you right now.
But the same way you can go, people don't know what they want. I think they want to see CM Punk talk. I don't think they want to see him wrestle. But that's just me. That's just me, though, personally.
And then on Daniel Bryan too, like, that's a surprising one. That's a surprising one to me. Daniel Bryan, just his story with the WWE, him coming back after having to retire, and then just. I feel like Daniel Bryan is the WWE right now. Like, he still got more to showcase to us WWE fans. Like, I feel like there's a lot more storylines he can do. I just feel like, I don't know, if he goes to AEW, that's great for him, but at the same time, that won't be surprising. Now, what I will say, if CM Punk, Daniel Bryan, and then let me throw out a couple other names for you. If Bray Wyatt, Braun Strowman, if they all go to AEW, that's going to change the landscape of wrestling. What's your thoughts on that?
Well, I'll give you that. I feel like if you give those guys up to AEW, you would have like a really strong brand because you'll have two guys that can make and create a very good story in that ring, and on top of that, have somebody that is very good at being an athlete and just being like, you know, a one of a kind person in the WWE. Like kind of like what Undertaker said, Bray Wyatt's the future, right? And the way at first I hated Bray Wyatt. I couldn't stand him. But as time went on, I saw him wrestle. I was like, this dude is official, man. And I feel like if they get a hold of Bray Wyatt, they actually have like a great chance of making AEW go from a show that is only really ever good in the last 20 minutes to possibly a show where it's good from beginning to end, because you can constantly keep doing stuff with them properly.
Man, like I feel like, come on now, like WWE has been dropping the ball on some stuff. I love the WWE. Come on now, but we got to call it out. This is the People's Podcast. We got to call them out. Like Bray Wyatt, the Fiend, you created this amazing character, or he created this amazing character, and it's just time and time again you had him get beat when he shouldn't have lose. Come on now, I'm a Goldberg fan. Yeah. And Goldberg, we talked about this before. Goldberg beat the Fiend, and the way it went about, it's like y'all was breaking this man down. He kept finding ways to get over, and then they would just break this man down. So I'm like, I believe Bray Wyatt is a creative person. So if he goes to AEW, he'll be able to showcase that creativity even more, even better, and then he would probably become even more of a star with AEW. Now you got Braun Strowman. Braun Strowman was just the champ. Like, what? Braun Strowman just beat Goldberg not too long ago. Like, and then now he's released? What is there? I'm like, this is shocking right now. Like, Braun Strowman's gone? Like, I'm like, how did he get bounced out of there? WWE got to figure out a way to bring Braun Strowman back, and they need to bring back The Fiend. They need to bring back Bray Wyatt. I'm like, this is something else. And we still get Goldberg versus Bobby Lashley at SummerSlam. Like, we ain't even gonna get into it. Yeah, go ahead.
I didn't ask for this. And you know how I feel about old Berg. Leave that man in retirement home before he hurts somebody or himself. Get him out of here, bro. Ooh. I hope Bobby Lashley ends his whole career. Put him in retirement. Farewell, Goldberg.
The Almighty. Bye. Oh no. Man. I'm a Goldberg fan, man. I'm a Goldberg fan. So if you're watching this, if your son's watching this, I'm a fan, Goldberg. I don't care if you old. I don't care if you got gray in the beard. I'm still gonna be a fan. When they cut that music on, that security knock on that door, I'll get hyped too. I'm like, he pulls that power up. I ain't gonna lie though. Like, when do we get to a point? Like, these last time Goldberg has made an appearance, he has lost. Do you think that he may pull this off to beat Bobby Lashley at SummerSlam? Like, what?
He better not. He better not. Leave him at home. Time to retire him. Take this L. You don't. What do you gain from putting the belt on Goldberg? Nothing. Not a dang thing at all, man. Leave him be. In fact, if anything, this should be built up to see if we can get Brock Lesnar versus Bobby Lashley. But from what we hear, Brock isn't trying to work with the WWE, right? He's trying to work with somebody else.
Oh, that's probably for another subject for another day, but I think that's going to happen down the line. WrestleMania season come around, I won't be surprised. As long as Bobby Lashley is still the champ, they will find a way to get Brock Lesnar back in the WWE so we can get that. Just imagine Brock Lesnar, Bobby Lashley for the championship. You got Paul Heyman, if Paul Heyman goes back to managing Brock. You got MVP managing Bobby Lashley. It's just going to be great promos. The build-up's going to be nice. We know both of them are basically still in their prime. They can go. You know, it'll be the perfect timing for that. They need to make it happen for sure. They definitely need to make it happen. But let us move on to the main topic. Oh man, I can't wait to get y'all thoughts on this at all the people when y'all hear this. Who's the best storyteller in the WWE today? And I'm gonna kick this off with you, John. Go ahead and let us know. Who is the best storyteller? Let the people know.
In the WWE, like, you talking like in ring,
cutting promos, everything, the full package. Like, who would you say back in the day? We'll probably be like, storytelling wise, we'd be like The Rock. We'd be like Shawn Michaels. They could tell a story inside the ring, outside the ring. they can tell a story no matter where. Who is that guy today in the WWE that's the best?
Oh man, that's a rough one, man. For me though, personally, I would probably say it's a toss up between Johnny Gargano and Tommaso Ciampa. The reason why I bring up those two is because I saw them in NXT. They had those hardcore matches and tag team matches. They remember things and keep things together to where when they're in a ring together, or if not wrestling other people, they remember all the tiny details that make it to where it's important and impactful later on. But I don't feel like they get showcased enough. But that's just because of the fact, Tommaso Ciampa is like in and out, and he can't. If he's healthy, he's 100%, he's going to be golden. And I feel like with Johnny Gargano, they need to give him better matchups so he can keep telling great stories in that ring. And I think it's really between those two in the WWE.
Oh, that's a good one. They definitely have told great stories. Oh man, NXT. I don't know if I don't want to change the subject, but NXT, maybe I got to start watching it a lot more again. But I don't know. I feel like it's something different. Like it kind of fell off a little bit. I don't want to join everybody else and what they be saying about it falling off, but I don't know. Like I gotta tune in a lot more. But I can't say this about Tommaso Ciampa and about and Johnny Wrestling. Like they do tell a story like amazingly. Like they are on a different level. I can't wait till they finally move up because I feel like they've been on NXT for a little too long now. We gotta see y'all be able to do it on Raw or SmackDown, do it on the main stage. Not only that, because I think they actually need it. Raw and SmackDown can use both of them. They probably do a lot better on SmackDown. They seem like those type of superstars. But I'm gonna switch it up. The best storyteller, and this may be controversial, but I don't care. So it is what it is. Roman freaking Reigns. Come on,
are you sure
now.
About that?
Roman,
do I gotta bring up that night on SmackDown where everybody forgot what a DQ was? Are you sure about that?
Man, I do not know what you're talking about right now. Wait.
Oh boy. After this, I'm gonna show you a YouTube video where a ref didn't know what a DQ was.
Okay. But I'm gonna go Roman freaking Reigns. Now, to all you guys who be hating in the comment section, this is for you. This is for you. All those people that have been doubting Roman Reigns, booing him, talking about he's been forced on us. I don't care about none of that no more. I don't care. He's heel. We got what we wanted. Roman Reigns is heel. And he is telling a story no matter what. Like, I want to throw it back. Like, he had a Hell in a Cell match with one of the Uso brothers. And he was just talking to the twin. I can't remember if it was Jimmy or Jay. I think it was Jay Uso. He was talking to Jay throughout the entire match. And I was just like, this dude is on a different level as a heel. Like, his storytelling is on a whole nother level. And not only that, he is the guy right now for the WWE. Now, of course, SummerSlam is approaching. You got him versus John Cena. You got them trying to build it up like it's The Rock versus John Cena or The Rock versus Hulk Hogan. The Legend versus the guy at the moment. But Roman Reigns, to me, his storytelling is on a whole nother level. In ring and I got to give him his credit for his promos. In the past, his promos used to be kind of stale. Like he was reading what they wrote on that script, but now it's sounding like he's actually kind of like he found his niche, that he's in his own zone. And I'm gonna give Roman Reigns his props. He is the best storyteller in the WWE today, right now. Wait a second, if I don't mention Randy Orton. That was a slight little thought process with Randy Orton. If I'm not including Randy Orton, I may have to go oh dang, wait a minute. If I'm not including Edge too. Wait a second. Edge is on a whole nother level too, but those are two Hall of Famers. Come on now. So I'm gonna go with Roman Reigns because he is the guy that's full time right now, and he's in his prime. This is his era. But of course, if we're talking the legends like Edge, Randy Orton, John Cena, even though I'm tired of him, and that same old gimmick, them same old green t-shirts, them same old jean shorts, like even though I'm tired of that. He's one of the greatest of all time, but I'm gonna go on Roman freaking Reigns. That is the best storyteller in the WWE today. You got any objections to that?
Me personally, I feel like you could have picked a better choice, but I'm not mad at the one you got.
I mean, honestly, I feel like AJ Styles, I don't like what the WWE's doing with him right now. Like, I feel like I would have said AJ Styles at one point, when he was on that SmackDown run, when he was the face that was running that place SmackDown. But now it's like they kind of like he's just a Raw tag team champion now. It's not the same. Like they kind of like took away some of that magic with AJ. I would say Daniel Bryan, if he was still there, Daniel Bryan would be on that list. And then you got Seth Rollins, you can give him some credit. But I go Roman Reigns, man. Like I look forward to watching Roman Reigns now, and which is kind of different because in these most recent years, I've only been looking forward to when legends return. Now it's like I actually look forward to watching someone who's current right now in the WWE, and that's Roman Reigns. And I got to give credit to Bobby Lashley too. He's on that list. But it's definitely Roman Reigns right now to me.
Well, I can respect that decision.
And I want to say this too, for the people that are watching this, anytime you guys want to like debate with us and y'all want to just hit us up, y'all can come on the show. Y'all gonna get these hands though on this show. We ain't gonna let nothing, like we don't care if you disagree with us. We gonna let you know the truth. But that is the main topic for this week. But before we move on to the next subject, I want to get people prepared for this. Defend this wrestler. Let me explain to you what Defend This Wrestler is. John, this is his segment altogether. This man came up with this, and I think this is a segment you all gonna love. This is where John picks somebody in the WWE or in wrestling world today, and he talks about them like, you know, they trash. Like, I'm sorry, it is what it is. Not everybody is the greats. Some people who are not good or they don't have good storylines, their character is whack, he will point it out, and then he will give every reason why that person is trash right now. But then I'm supposed to defend that person. So let me pass this on to John. Go ahead and give us the rundown on this segment this week.
So this week's victim is a wrestler that's pretty much, you know, he might get some undeserved attention, but you know what? I don't care. We're talking about Baron Corbin.
Ooh.
And I think that he's really a victim of just being in a bad situation. Because I do like how he changed his image and shaved that head and went bald and has something going on. But every time I see this man, all he ever does is take L's. It seems like all he can beat is on little kids and old men, aka anybody who comes up from NXT and Kurt Angle. This man is a tragedy ongoing. How do you lose the Money in the Bank? How do you lose at being at the king of the ring? Like, bro, there is no good qualities to you. You don't even make people look good when they're trying to beat up on you or when you're trying to lay in some damage to make us think you're worth something. No. And it makes me wonder, like, man, they got Dolph Ziggler upstairs right now that they could call in and do his job 3 times better. Why do we keep giving this man a paycheck? Oh, right. Vince likes him. I don't understand what people see in him. His whole moveset is forgettable. There ain't nothing spectacular about him. Every time I see him wrestle, I'm like, oh, was that it? Dang. I didn't forgot what he did. It's like an ongoing tragedy, man. And I want to hear Baron Corbin fans. I want to know what these people have to say about him. I want to see what is the beauty of this dude. Because, man, I see nothing but ugly. In and out the ring, man. And I need you to defend this man. Show me the light of Baron Corbin. Show me the positive.
Now, let me say this. Baron Corbin fans out there, whoever you guys are, you can go ahead and let us know your thoughts. You can defend this man as well. You can try to defend him at least. Now, this is my job to try to defend Baron Corbin today. Here's the first thing I got to say before I start defending him. Have you seen Baron Corbin's gimmick these days, John?
Isn't he? If last time I checked, he is still rocking this like, it's not a wrestler gimmick. He's still walking, you know, the button up in the slacks.
Yeah, but now his gimmick, he's still rocking that for sure. His gimmick is based around him not having any money. Like he's having financial hardships. He goes on the show each week and he's talking about like, I need money, basically. The man's broke. They gave him a broke down gimmick where he looks like he's just struggling, like he's Like his clothes is all dirty. His shirt is always unbuttoned. He's always asking for some financial support. Like they gave him a terrible gimmick that it just makes it even worse right now. That if you seen this man right now and how he comes out there looking like he's broke down, like he done got hit with too many hard times. Like he done got hit with hard times. So Baron Corbin. Now here's my thing. Let me say this. The man, okay, I'm supposed to defend him, but before I defend this man, let me just say this too. Vince McMahon, or whoever the writers is, but Vince McMahon obviously has cosign on this. He allowed this man to retire Kurt Angle. He allowed Baron Corbin to retire Kurt Angle. Now, let me say this. In his support, that's supposed to build up Baron Corbin. But now, from beating Kurt Angle, Baron Corbin has went on to asking for money with his new promos, with his new character, with his new gimmick. Somebody need to change that gimmick, please. Now, to defend Baron Corbin, I'm not sure if he came up with this storyline. I'm not sure if he came up with this character. A lot of times, a lot of people don't like the writing with the WWE nowadays. Come on now, I can go down a list. CM Punk, we just mentioned him. One of the reasons why he left the WWE, he didn't like what the writing was going on. Dean Ambrose, another one, who's on AEW now. He didn't like what the writing was, how the writing was being portrayed in WWE, how the storylines portrayed around his character. Baron Corbin could be going through that as well. Roman Reigns, the best storyteller in the WWE today for me. At one point in time, people were feeling like he was just being forced for us to like love him, to cheer for him. Then now he seems like he's loved what he's doing as a heel. Baron Corbin could be going through that same thing. Baron Corbin as a wrestler, he has had some good matches. Baron Corbin has done his job. He has done his job as a wrestler. He cut the hair. I'm glad he cut the hair, because at one point in time that it wasn't coming across. But I ain't gonna lie, that was better days for Baron Corbin when he was in NXT as a wrestler, as a character. Like it seemed like it was coming across a lot better than what has been coming across lately. So for me to defend Baron Corbin this week, my full answer for you guys is I don't have it. Now I say all those things to let y'all know I can't defend this man this week. I'm sorry. I don't know. He's not a terrible wrestler. He's not a bad wrestler. Like he can wrestle. He's not a bad wrestler. I don't feel like he's unsafe with wrestlers in there. I feel like he can be a part of some decent, good matches. I don't know his character. I don't know what would be a good character for Baron Corbin. I have no idea what would be a good character for him. Like,
shoot, man. You know what they would have done with Baron Corbin?
What?
I know it's going to lean into our next comment. I would have made him like pretty much the mouthpiece of like either kind of like John Laurinaitis was back in a couple of years ago, but like of the shareholders, or if not Vince McMahon or Triple H. Like he comes down, it's like, hey man, I'm technically in control, but I'm really just here to be the messenger, right? Mm-hmm. At the same time, though, I am the guy. I am the guy that's like, in charge of things. That's what I would have done with Baron Corbin.
They could have also took the JBL route. They could have like made him become like this dominant champion because he always cheats, or he has like a team around him that helps him always win. They could go the JBL route where not necessarily that he's rich or anything like that, but he's someone that always finds a way to win because he always got a posse around him that helps him cheat to get the victory. They could have went that route, maybe like the JBL route. I'm kind of like that in a sense. But I don't know. It's tough now because I've seen so many bad moments now that I don't know if they can switch this around now. Like it's pretty bad. Like I ain't never seen a gimmick where someone is like portrayed as being like well, I guess I have. I seen Shawn Michaels at one point in time. They went through that gimmick too, where he was like
MVP, where he went on like a 24-week losing streak and still came out on top.
So I mean, I guess that like financial hardship. I remember Shawn Michaels had a storyline with that, actually with JBL. So I guess it has happened, but I feel like it was terrible timing for Baron Corbin because Shawn Michaels could go through that where he has that type of gimmick because it's Shawn Michaels. Like, it's like, come on now, could Shawn Michaels do wrong now? At that point when he had that gimmick, Baron Corbin hasn't had a real like cemented successful gimmick where we can stand on and be like, oh, he can take this bad gimmick. He could take this and still make it work. Nah, Baron Corbin didn't need this. He didn't need to go from King of the Ring.
That's the issue.
Exactly. He can go from being King of the Ring to being broke now. Like, how did this happen? WWE, how did y'all let this happen to Baron Corbin? Now Baron Corbin is on Defend This Wrestler, and I can't defend him. Come on now, fans. Like, where the Baron Corbin fans at? Let me know where y'all at on this. Tell me how y'all feel about Baron Corbin. John, you got anything else you want to say about Baron Corbin?
Hey, man, if you ever lose your job and think TNA is hiring, bro, I think you'd be a better fit there. I'm just saying, because at least he can reinvent himself down in TNA, and then on top of that, it's like to me he looks like a TNA wrestler. Yeah, pretty much. I think he'd be a perfect fit down there.
WWE, take the JBL route, and make it kind of new. Do some justice by Baron Corbin, especially in the fact that y'all had him beat Kurt Angle. Y'all got to do something right with him. Don't just let him go. And then now our lasting memory of Kurt Angle was his last match with Baron Corbin, a guy y'all just end up releasing. Like, do something with Baron Corbin. Do something with that. Like, he beat Kurt Angle. Come on now. Like, we wanted to see at least Kurt Angle versus John Cena or something in his last match. Give us something. Do right by Baron Corbin. Now, before we move on to this next segment, I do gotta actually, John, you probably need to introduce this one. This will be the dream match scenario. Let the people know about this segment, and hopefully Baron Corbin can have a dream match scenario in his near future. But go ahead and explain this topic to the people.
So a dream match scenario is pretty much us booking a fantasy session, or if not a storyline, of a wrestler or two wrestlers, and how they can come together to make a cool event for us to see. Kind of like, seeing like, oh man, I would really love to see Ric Flair go up against a Seth Rollins, but they're both, they're both in their prime and they're both, able to go at each other at a really good rate. Yeah. Or seeing, somebody like Brock Lesnar, have a match against somebody like Andre the Giant, because I believe Brock can pick up Andre in F5. But to start out this segment, I'm gonna tell you my dream match scenario. And I remember I got this idea because I was watching Kevin Durant say Team USA again. And that is an Olympic storyline where Vince McMahon is trying to say, we have the best wrestlers on the planet and I have the best wrestler on the planet, aka Kurt Angle walks in and he is just talking all types of mess about every wrestler out there except Kurt Angle. And lo and behold, boom, the scene hits and you hear that music. Bret Hart comes up and he's letting them know that, hey man, I am the greatest wrestler, pretty much the guy. No one can mess with me from year in and year out. I'm still being talked about to this day. And that's how the setup goes. And pretty much we have like a Olympic style wrestling theme going on, because the best thing about Bret Hart is he could have a good match with anybody, and then when you need him to wrestle and be pretty much the best wrestler to ever walk in that ring, he'll do it. And with somebody like Kurt Angle, who's highly athletic, has a great wrestling background, and can move very quickly and very nimbly, you're just printing money at that point, man. And it's like, you remember those matches like that Kurt would have with Brock Lesnar or even Chris Benoit from back in the day?
Yeah, for sure.
Remember how quick, how physical, and how many locks and how interesting it looked? They made sleeper holds look interesting. That's how good it was, man. Yeah. So I'm seeing, just imagine they were able to do this with Bret and Kurt. Come on. And I can see it now. This whole thing would end either at SummerSlam, or you could have this end at WrestleMania, because these two can have a set of classics back to back to back, man.
Yeah, for sure. Like I remember, it's funny. I just recently watched one of the documentaries. I believe the network A&E shot on Bret Hart, and just seeing like Bret Hart of like how Bret Hart was beloved back in the day. Like some people don't realize how Bret Hart was the guy. He was like the superhero. Man, he was a superhero to people, and not only that was he a superhero, he was able to relate to people. Like people looked at him not only as a superhero, but like someone they can actually relate to as a person. Bret Hart was that guy, and I think sometimes we forget that because of how his career kind of ended. And then it's just like tragedy after tragedy kept happening. And then Kurt Angle, man,
similar situation. Kurt has like a lot of personal issues. You ever look up how many losses he got to go through, or how many how many bad demons he had to battle? It was like crazy. Kurt Angle's life is nothing more than like a triumph over tragedy, but it's still crazy. And it's like kind of crazy how their careers are kind of similar, but they don't end the same though, at least.
Kind of. Kurt Angle got ended by Baron Corbin. Kind of.
I mean, hey man, if we want to talk about bad wrestlers, Goldberg did end Bret Hart's career, and I still haven't forgiven him.
Oh man, that's a tough one. I'm sorry, Goldberg. I'm sorry that we did this to you a couple times. Baron Corbin, I'm sorry too, man. I got hope for you still. The people, me, we all got hope still. It's looking rough though. It's looking rough right now. But yeah, that would be a phenomenal match. Kurt Angle, Bret Hart. It would just that's a legendary match. It's obviously like
Team USA versus Team Canada. I can see the Hart Foundation get into it. Kurt Angle somehow, in getting Brock Lesnar on his team to do some crazy stuff.
Man. Or he brings back Shelton Benjamin and Charlie Haas.
Oh man, imagine like the stable: Kurt Angle, Shelton Benjamin, Charlie Haas, and Brock Lesnar.
Oh man, yeah, it would be legendary. That would for sure be legendary.
I like that, man.
And not only that, I feel like that would be a match that would instantly be given to all like wrestling, like people who's striving to become professional wrestlers. That would be the match to watch. Would be like Kurt Angle versus Bret Hart. Now let us study this. Let's break this down, and this is how you should become a professional wrestler. Like that's what I kind of think of when I think of like if they was to have a match, if they were in their prime. Bret Hart versus Kurt Angle would be like legendary.
One last thing though, what I would like for this match to go down, right? It's like I would like them to go overseas or to a different country just to have this match. Make it be like, since the world, we want the world to see it, so we're going to go to a world stage. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Not to say that America doesn't have a lot of ones. I'm just saying like, let's go somewhere where literally we're like in the heart of Europe or somewhere, or like even Japan, where we got like a big old dome where like people from around the world are going to come to see this. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Or if not, just go to Canada.
Yeah, go to Canada, and then Kurt Angle gets booed straight. You gonna leave so many "you suck" chants, and then Bret Hart will be looked at as the baby face for sure during that time. And then you can switch up the storyline, and then Bret Hart comes to the States, and now Kurt Angle's they probably still boo Kurt Angle and still say he sucked, but at the same time, they'll probably be booing Bret Hart still too, so they both will be getting booed. It'll be interesting. That'll be an interesting rivalry. Oh man. Here's my dream match scenario. Now I thought about this for a little while, and I kind of mentioned this beforehand anytime we talk about wrestling. But this is the people's podcast now, so I gotta let the people know. My dream match scenario would be the Heartbreak Kid, Shawn Michaels, the Mr. WrestleMania. To me, the greatest wrestler of all time. That is Shawn Michaels. When I think of all around, when I think of cutting promos, just the all-around superstar, the all-around best, I say Shawn Michaels. I never got to see Shawn Michaels face the People's Champ, the Brahma Bull, and both of them being in their primes. I haven't seen Shawn Michaels face The Rock. Funny thing is, The Rock is still in tip-top shape. The Rock can still go. The Rock probably about to make a comeback sooner than later. I've heard rumors of him coming back at Survivor Series and whatnot. Shawn Michaels is not in his prime anymore. Shawn Michaels do not have his long hair anymore. So I don't know if we'll ever get that match. But to me, if you gave Shawn Michaels a year to train, and he know he was his legacy. This has to do with his legacy. Like, he's about to face The Rock at a WrestleMania. I think this will still be possible for them to pull off. Like, now it won't be as good maybe as if both of them were in their prime, but I still feel like it's something that is doable if they both were super committed. Now, here's my storyline behind this. Like, The Rock has had so many run-ins with Triple H, which is Shawn Michaels' best friend. Now, you have Shawn Michaels. If we were to do it now, this is how I would kind of go with it. The Rock is he'll have to go back into a rivalry with Triple H. The match we're supposed to get another WrestleMania match with Triple H and The Rock. The Rock goes on to beat Triple H. Now, The Rock is thinking everything is all smooth. Like, he can go on, he can go back to Hollywood, or he can go to face Roman Reigns, one of his family members. But no, it's not over yet, Rock, because now you done brought back the Heartbreak Kid, Shawn Michaels, to give us a once-in-a-lifetime match. The Rock versus Shawn Michaels. Shawn Michaels is fighting for Triple H because you beat Triple H. And then not only that, in The Rock's rivalry with Triple H, The Rock was saying some slick comments about DX here and there, saying slick comments about Shawn Michaels here and there, just from their Attitude Era days. And then now we get the match we all want to see. Shawn Michaels versus The Rock. And hopefully during that time period, Shawn Michaels is training intensely. I mean, he's a trainer for NXT, so he can do that still. So it's like he's training intensely. He's training. And now we get the match we all want to see on the grandest stage of them all. Shawn Michaels versus The Rock. Tell me your thoughts.
I think that's a very good one. Hopefully they can put whatever happened between them aside, and they can make this match happen. It still can. And nah, man, I really would like to see that match. I would like to see when they're healthy. I would like to see The Rock, when he first went Hollywood, go up against Shawn Michaels. Mm-hmm. That'd be like idealistic for me. And I would love to see this happen, but like, there's one thing I want to add to that match, right? It's completely unnecessary. We don't have to do it. But I would love to see either Mick Foley or Stone Cold Steve Austin either be there as in somebody's corner, or if not, be the referee to that match.
Oh yeah, you can even throw Mick Foley in that rivalry for sure. Like, because then it surrounds around DX, and then The Rock. And then you got the Rock and Sock connection, and then you could just throw in Stone Cold in there. Stone Cold has a history with all of them. He has a history with Triple H. He has a history with Shawn Michaels. Of course, he has a history with The Rock and Mick Foley. You could throw it will bring the Attitude Era back. It will be kind of similar to like how when Triple H faced Sting at WrestleMania, and then the NWO came out, the DX came out. It will be like that match will be for all the fans that are now our age or even older, that was fans of the Attitude Era. Because then now you could dang near even bring back Undertaker. You can bring back everybody from the Attitude Era, because it's all centered around The Rock and Shawn Michaels. The Rock and Shawn Michaels are two of the best of all time, but two of the best from the Attitude Era. And you could bring back all those legends and kind of just have them pick a side. Are you choosing The Rock, or are you choosing Shawn Michaels? And now it's like, you just made us all fans again. You just turned all those adults that love the Attitude Era and turned them back into little kids again. Like, dang, I get to see Shawn Michaels versus The Rock, and you bring back all these legends again. Yeah, I think that's big money. If that ended up happening, I know they watched the People's Podcast. I know they watched it.
Hey man, still a good idea, man. We need something to watch, please.
Yeah, for sure. Still an idea. Let us move on, because that is a dream match scenario. And guess what? We do got some. Actually, I want to get a couple of quick SummerSlam predictions, because we actually have some dream match scenarios that's actually happening this Saturday on SummerSlam. So we're gonna get some quick predictions real quick. The Universal Championship, Roman Reigns versus John Cena. Tell me who you think is gonna win and why.
Well, I think honestly the reason why John Cena is gonna lose this match is really because of the fact he's coming back to prove nothing, and on top of it, he gains nothing other than beating Ric Flair's record of holding championships. Other than that, I believe that this is just going to be an L, but this is going to be an L to help make Roman more official. You know what I'm saying? And I think this would be a perfect thing to do. But if John wins, they need to switch John up. But I understand John doesn't want to change. He doesn't want to be a different guy. But to me, honestly, John Cena, if he wins, he needs to change up his whole entire gimmick and do something different.
Man,
maybe he should be, just repping, the overseas, how much he appreciates, being in China and stuff like that. He can be like, I'm here to be the representative and delegate of the Chinese wrestling and bring in a bunch of Chinese wrestlers or something like that. Or he can go back to the Doctor of Thugonomics. I'd love to see that.
Or he could take the Hollywood Hogan approach. Hulk Hogan was the biggest baby face in the world. Then he went to WCW, became Hollywood Hogan, and then that started the Monday Night Wars, basically. And WCW was winning a lot because NWO, one of the greatest groups of all time, was led by Hulk Hogan, who was a super huge baby face, most beloved at one point in time. Then he became a top heel. John Cena could do the same thing if they have the guts to have him take off that goddamn peak orange green shirts and them same jean shorts. Come on now, John. We need something new, John. Come on, John. Like, come on, man. My prediction, man, I'm going Roman Reigns for the same exact reasons you said. He's the man right now. He's the top to me, storyteller in the business. He's the top guy. Of course, WWE is behind him. I don't see them having him lose to John Cena, unless some type of like something they got set up that I can't think of right now, like having The Rock come and interfere and have Roman Reigns lose or something like that to build eventually to that WrestleMania match. Then Roman Reigns eventually gets the title back from John Cena, and now The Rock comes back. They already have that tension. Unless they have something like that, yeah, I got Roman Reigns. Let us move on. WWE Championship, Bobby Lashley, who's the champ, versus Goldberg.
Goldberg better not win. He better not. Hey, if that's it, hey man, I'm gonna start watching New Japan and watching replays of Lucha Underground. I'm not doing it. No. Leave Goldberg retired, man. I don't know why y'all paid this man. I would have kept Braun Strowman in. Mm-hmm. At least with Braun versus Bobby, we have a proper story to tell. Mm-hmm. Because if you don't remember, Bobby could never really beat Braun Strowman ever. And they had that whole storyline where Bobby couldn't really mess with him. Mm-hmm. This would be the perfect opportunity for these two to have that kind of match. Instead, what do? We let him go. We brought it back. Goldberg. For what? So he can either stomp Bobby Lashley and then what? So he can get beaten in 2 seconds? All right. I don't understand why people like Brock Goldberg. All of his matches are squash matches and they're not really entertaining.
This one's tough for me. Yeah.
Bobby Lashley is going to come out with victory. He has to.
The Almighty. This one's tough for me. I don't know. I really don't know. I think I can't see Goldberg. They keep bringing him back just to lose. So it's a time that he has to win again. It would be a terrible timing though for him to beat Bobby Lashley to me. So what I'm gonna say is, I'm gonna give two predictions. I'm gonna say either Goldberg wins, or I'm gonna say Bobby Lashley wins by like DQ or something like that, or like count out or something that makes it look like Goldberg doesn't get pinned 1, 2, 3. Because if you just keep having Goldberg come back, get into these title pictures and just keep losing, it's just gonna be like, what's the point? So I feel like Goldberg either is about to shock the world again and beat Bobby Lashley, become WWE champion, or they're going to figure out some type of way to have Bobby remain champion and Goldberg doesn't really take a pin 1, 2, 3 without some cheating happening or something happens like that. Because I can't just see him constantly keep losing just fair. Like he just lose this match. I can't keep seeing that happening because it's like, what's the point of bringing him back? Let's move on. Raw Women's Championship. Nikki Ash, who's the champion right now, versus Rhea Ripley versus Charlotte Flair. So that is a triple threat match. Who do you got coming out Raw Women's Champion?
You know what? Because I can see this happening in typical WWE fashion. Rhea and Charlotte are going to tear each other's head off, and Nikki somehow retains the title. That's exactly how I see this happening.
Yep.
Because if Charlotte wins, she breaks the record. If Rhea should never lost the belt in the first place, but things happen. So my prediction is Nikki is going to retain, but something stupid is going to happen for this to be a reality.
Okay, so we got to remember this is SummerSlam and it's on Saturdays, not a Sunday. Most people pay-per-views is on Sunday, and this is in Las Vegas. You know what I got happening? I got the same thing, but I don't think it's going to be stupid. I think Nikki Ash will win, but I feel like what's going to happen is Becky Lynch is going to return and cost Charlotte or cost Rhea Ripley to kind of like get that rivalry start to build again with not only Charlotte Flair, but even eventually people going to want to see Becky Lynch versus Rhea Ripley. So I think Becky Lynch is going to cost Rhea Ripley and Charlotte Flair, and Nikki Ash is going to retain the Raw Women's Championship because the fans want to see Becky Lynch. And it's been a minute, so I know they probably going to have a return at SummerSlam. That's my prediction. Let me know if I'm telling the truth or not later on, you guys. And SmackDown Women's Championship, Bianca Belair, who is the champion, versus my GOAT, Sasha Banks. Let me know who you think.
Again?
Man.
I'm just kidding. But to be quite honest, I feel like Sasha's going to probably win this, oddly enough. Just because of the fact they need these two to have a good rivalry while they go introducing somebody new that's going to be probably the next title holder. And I have no issue with that, but it's just like I wish they could have done a little bit better and done a lot more with Sasha's opponent. But then again, though, hey man, these things do happen, and it's just, she's just a product of the modern WWE where we have talented superstars, but we can't quite capitalize on them the way we should. Mm-hmm. And that's unfortunate for Bianca Belair, but it is what it is.
This one's tough for me. Anytime Sasha Banks has a chance to win the championship, I'm always going to root for her. I'm going to go with... I can't really see them... Bianca Belair doesn't, to me, she shouldn't lose just yet, but I'm going to go Sasha Banks wins this. I'm going to go, it's SummerSlam. There has to be some type of big championship changes. I think Sasha Banks going to get her just due. I think they're going to give her back the championship, the SmackDown Women's Championship. I got Sasha Banks, and I guess that rivalry just will continue on, but I got Sasha pulling that one out. The Raw Tag Team Championship, AJ Styles and Almost. Is that how you say it? Almost?
Almost.
Yeah. See, Almost, you got a lot to prove, man. I don't know your name yet, man. AJ Styles and Almost versus Randy Orton, RK Bro. Randy Orton and Riddle. Who you got?
I don't know. This is just like a weird thing because it's weird to see Randy tag team with anybody. It's just weird.
Man.
But then again, though, honestly, I'm a big fan of Omos because I would like to see them lose, but just so Omos can break off from AJ Styles and do his own thing. Because I don't know where they found him, but this is like a hit. Like they actually have like a guy that they can capitalize off of. And this is like a guy I wish we would have kept Braun Strowman around because this would have been the perfect, King Kong versus Godzilla kind of match, which is like two big immovable objects going up against each other. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So my prediction would be RK Bro wins, but only in the aspect of like this is going to go help these two wrestlers go forward in their careers and to help them move on to better things. Mm-hmm. As far as going for AJ Styles and Omos.
Yeah, I completely agree with you. I don't even need to even say anything else. I got the same exact thing. I got RK Bro winning it, but AJ Styles is gonna kind of get back in the title picture to me as a singles competitor. But I think almost they're gonna have to figure out a way to kind of make him become a star on his own in a sense. And I think this kind of be the right time. So I got RK Bro. SmackDown Tag Team Championship, we got the Usos, who are the champions, versus Rey and Dominic Mysterio. I think this match will steal the show. I'm going to just say that right now, but who you got?
I'm gonna be honest with you, man. I'm gonna be 100% honest with you. It's probably gonna be the Usos because I feel like they're building up to a moment to where there's either gonna be either there's gonna be a faction that's gonna take down the Samoan bloodline, or if not, somebody's gonna come in that's gonna be like really pronounced. That's gonna really, get like make sure they like take these two down a peg. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Or if not, the whole entire Samoan bloodline. I feel like I wish they didn't get rid of Bobby Fish because that could have been the perfect situation for Adam Cole to come in place of his group and just be those guys to do that role. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But honestly, for the people, I think this is going to be a defense. To be honest with you, this is going to be a defense, man.
For me, I got the Usos. Ray and Dominic, phenomenal. But I got the Usos. The Usos, they want to keep that dominant group going for me with Roman Reigns beating John Cena, the Usos retaining the titles. They want that dominant group. And then it's on a big stage like SummerSlam. Yeah, I got the Usos pulling that out, but I think it's gonna steal the show. I think the match is gonna steal the show. Let's get some 2 quick predictions with this one. We got Drew McIntyre and Jinder Mahal. What you think with that?
Jinder Mahal is still in WWE? That is crazy, man. No, I'm just kidding. I knew he came back a couple weeks ago. But this is going to be a Drew McIntyre win. It's obvious they want to keep Drew McIntyre built and ready to go. Drew McIntyre is pretty much their new... it's the best way. He's their new utility wrestler, pretty much. He can do a lot of things and be good at things. If anything, he's like the replacement Sheamus, kind of. No, this is just going to be an easy one for Drew.
I got Drew as well. Let us move on. Alexis Bliss versus Eva Marie.
Alexis Bliss, but I feel like they're gonna do something with her to make it to where she moves out of this Fiend gimmick, since the Fiend ain't around no more.
I'm gonna say Eva Marie. I think they brought her back for a reason. I think they want to build Eva Marie up. So I'm gonna go Eva Marie, and they're gonna have her beat Alexis Bliss to make that statement, like she's here to try to eventually reach after one of the championships. So I'm gonna go Eva Marie. And even though I said Drew McIntyre will beat Jinder Mahal, something in the back of my head is like Jinder Mahal is gonna pull that out, and I don't know if that's good for Drew McIntyre. Let us move on to United States Championship. Sheamus, who is the champion, versus Damian Priest.
Pretty hard one, but I think Damian Priest is, because I feel like WWE, this is the first time I feel like they're getting behind a wrestler like this in such a manner that's like, it's not like a Roman Reigns push. They're just slowly building them up and slowly trying to make this guy, bigger and badder. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And I feel like this would be a helpful thing for them to do, and healthy for Damian Priest's career. So yeah, I think Damian Priest is going to win this.
I got Damian Priest as well for everything that you said. I think he'll be the new United States champion. And then the last match, and this kind of revolves around the dream match scenario. We got Edge versus Seth Rollins. Who you got?
I'm probably going to lean on Seth Rollins, because I feel like they're trying to build up Seth versus Roman. I feel like they are, and I think a win over Edge would be great. If not, we're still into dream match territory, so Edge might win, but I think Seth is gonna win this one. 100%. I'm
gonna have to disagree. I'm gonna go Edge. Edge has come back and he hasn't really won too many matches. I doubt, for the same reasons I said about Goldberg, I look at it like Edge with that same thing. Like, Edge has come back and he hasn't won too many things. Like, I think they can't keep that same trend. I think they will have Edge win this match. Or it'll be one of those DQ type deals again, where no one wins and the rivalry just continues on, where they don't really have a victory for Seth Rollins or Edge just yet, because they want that rivalry to remain for a little bit of time, at least to like Survivor Series or something. So either Edge is going to win, or are they going to do some type of count out, no DQ, or like someone gets DQ, Seth Rollins cheats or something like that. We hit a lot of topic sticks this week. I wanted to do better team, The Shield versus Edge and Christian, or do you think we should we should kind of tease it to go into next week for them to anticipate the Shield versus Edge and Christian. Who's the better team? Who had the better career? Or you think we should do it now?
Shoot, man, I need to do a little bit more research on Edge and Christian, if we can be completely honest.
Yeah.
Because I know a lot about the Shield, but I'll be honest, I don't really know much about Edge and Christian other than they had them paired up because they hired them at the at the same time, and they didn't think they could do well without them being separated for a while. So let me do some research and I'll get back to you on that, man.
Yeah, so the people, all y'all listening, look forward to that debate next week. Who's the better team, better career, Edge or Christian versus the Shield? We're not going to do it this week, but we got y'all next week. We done hit every topic this week for our first episode of the People's Podcast. Before we go, we always got to leave a few words for the people. Go ahead and start us off, John.
Shoot, man, all I gotta say is stay safe, try to keep positive, and hey, man, if you got a friend and they're in need, man, try to help them out, even if they wronged or did something terrible. If you they good friend, man, you gotta help them get back on the right path, man. What about you?
Yeah, for sure. I'm gonna say, man, it's a lot going on. It's a lot of tough times, man. Always check on your people, work on your mental health. We always say that, on my like other podcasts, any of my videos you see, any of our videos, we always say work on your mental health. Whatever you got to do to keep you going on. Man, we are the People's Podcast, man. Let us know your thoughts. Let us know about our debates. We willing to debate ourselves, man. All those good things. Work on your mental health, work on your physical health, work on your body. You got to definitely work on your physical health too, because, man, COVID, all that, man, you got to make sure you're healthy. This is the People's Podcast. Make sure y'all know this is presented by the Wrestling Republic. And for any more wrestling news, anything like that, debates, anything about wrestling news, you could check out WrestlingRepublic.com, or you can also check out the Instagram page, the social media page. Instagram for sure is at Wrestling Republic. And this is the People's Podcast, man. I am Young Meechy. That is John for sure. We're going to keep them coming. We're going to keep on putting out some dope content for y'all. So make sure y'all check out the Wrestling Republic for if you want to keep up with news, anything that's going on with wrestling throughout the week. And make sure y'all tune in to the People's Podcast, because we're going in. We're going to keep it real with y'all all the time. And we see you guys in the next episode. We out.